welcome back to Riled Up. It's me, your girl, Takaya.
Your boy Scott.
Your boy. Your person, Faith.
Indeed.
It's gonna be different.
Hiccups.
Alright. So we're continuing our series on
2020
presidential candidates and roasting them or whatever. Just talking about
going
it.
around.
So now we're on Pete Buttigieg.
What is his act? How do you actually say his name?
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
We can go to the Wikipedia page. We're going to go into it later anyway, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, let's look at and then how to pronounce his name.
Type his name?
How to pronounce? No, just type how to pronounce Pete Buttigieg.
Wikipedia.
How pronounce?
Yeah, okay. It was on the Wikipedia page. There it is. Buttigieg.
Buttigieg. That said Buttigieg, but okay. Buttigieg. I'm gonna mess it up, but okay.
Buttigieg.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
How old is he, real fast?
Oh yeah, how is he? He's probably fine.
37.
He's only 37? Huh,
Yeah.
so interesting.
Dude is super young, yeah.
Yes. Chastain Buttigieg. His husband?
Yeah, they've been married for about a year.
Cool.
Neato.
Alright, now back to his
His
website. Alright. It looks okay, so we should give first thoughts about the looks of their websites.
Mm-hmm.
So we did Marianne's. Hers was easily navigatable.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It looked nice.
Okay, and his looks like
Okay.
this too.
And then we did Yang, and Yang's website was garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, so far,
Yeah, pretty good.
I like the structure. It looks a lot like a freaking sports thingy though, like the P in the 2020 like at the top. It looks very sporty and that's whatever.
Alright, so
okay, we have.
So do we wanna
Let's meet Pete.
Meet Pete. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
It's fine. We're gonna meet Pete.
It's gonna
Oh,
happen.
and then make this boy large.
Yeah. This is way too tiny.
Alright, meet Pete. It's time for a new generation of American leadership. Pete belongs to the generation that came of age with school shootings, the generation that provided the majority of the troops in the conflicts after 9/11, the generation that is on the business end of climate change, and the generation that, unless we take action, seems to be the first to be worse off economically than our parents.
Wow, that's a big move.
Yeah.
Pete is laying out a vision, values, and policies to ensure that America's future is better than its past. We need to secure a future which every American has the freedom to live a life of their choosing, where our republic grows more and not less democratic, where racial justice is a reality and not a dream, where we've put an end to endless war, where we've summoned the national will to meet the challenge of climate change, where everyone has the health care they need, and where everyone has a chance to find purpose and belong in our economy and country. Okay, why couldn't Yang's flow like this? Yang didn't talk about nothing but the robots. like Pete actually tells us about Pete.
Yeah.
And his ideas, whereas Yang's was just, oh, robots bad. Okay, we need some.
Also,
you can view this website in Spanish.
Yeah.
Without having to hit translate on your
A big
that's great actually.
A big thing about a big thing that Pete Buttigieg
I'm sorry, but we're gonna call him Pete Buttigieg for the whole thing, cause
nicknames.
Yeah, cause why not?
So he a lot of the times it gets a lot of clout for saying that he speaks I think it's 4 languages.
Oh, okay.
I've seen things about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
which is just a thing that's
it's
not a big deal, but
it's a big deal. Most of our presidents have not spoken more than English, and when the majority of your country, well, not majority, but when a large portion of your country speaks
fair.
other languages aside from English, it's cool to know that because
That's fair, but whenever you're like,
I mean, don't do it for clout. Like, don't just be
yeah,
like,
when you promote
don't
it
brag
more
about
than
it. But like, it's cool that's a
when you
thing.
promote it more than policy is whenever I have a problem. Which it seems like he's like the type to do that. He's the type to promote it more than policy.
Interesting. All right, so we need to insist on a better future. There is no honest politics that revolves around the world again. Word. Oh, word. Yes. Okay, you're right. In the era of automation and globalization, major changes are going to happen whether we're ready or not. The question isn't, can we stop these changes and go back to the past? The question is, how can we make sure these changes work for us? I like that.
Yes,
America is at its best. Yeah, oh my goodness. America's at its best when we master change. Just let me figure it out for the benefit of every American. If they're reading along too, they'll know. And if not, hey.
Maybe they're trying to listen to this in their car or something, and they're just listening.
Okay, well, one word ain't gonna. Hey, I was gonna go back and fix it before you said something. Our country needs a fresh start, and Pete stands for the better America that we know we can be.
Okay.
Okay, Petey. Little booty man. There is no again in the real world. Pete is in his 8th and final year as mayor of South Bend, Indiana. No, that's South Park.
Oh no! I just thought of something funny. The fact that you call him Buttigieg and the fact that he's gay.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's not okay.
That's funny. That's very funny.
Oh my god.
We're keeping this. All right. It's okay. We're all gay here, so it's not homophobia.
It's okay. You're wearing your Love is Love shirt.
Yeah, so like we're all gay.
Yeah.
Some way or another,
Yes.
It's okay. We'll talk about some more time. He was first elected mayor in 2011, but only at 29, and re-elected in 2015 with 80% of the vote. Nice, congratulations. Oof. What? Pete has more years of government experience than the. Ooh.
That's more years of executive government experience than the vice president.
That's what we here at Riled Up call a big oop.
That's the thesis.
Very much so.
This water is hydrating.
Yes, that's what water is supposed to do.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Cool. The Oxford, Harvard.
Oh, yeah.
He lives with his husband in South Bend. I grew up. They got rescue dogs. Oh, one is named Buddy.
No.
More. That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, now let's go look at his issues. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what we got. We got health. Yeah. Okay. See, I like a good website. It's easy to navigate, regardless of what your stance is. I would be able to see what you stand for. And Mr. Yang, he wasn't telling me.
No, he had 3 things.
Yeah, 3 big things, and all the other topics that would be good topics, but they're really small. Okay. Health is a human right. Yes.
Yes.
And Pete's plans are ambitious and enduring commitments to that basic.
Another thing that I kind of like about this website is that the obvious copywriting that's done by other people isn't written in the first person.
It says P instead of I.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because the other ones, they didn't write that.
Yeah, true.
But they gave their thoughts and they gave someone, okay, now put this together in a way that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this is just like Pete stands with this. Yes. Because he's not, that's nice.
Yeah, that's fair.
I respect that. Getting healthcare in America is too expensive, too complicated, and too frustrating. Am I right? He's right. Our system leaves us feeling powerless and taken advantage of. Yeah. We're at this moment of crisis because of failure of leadership. For years, Washington politicians have allowed the pharmaceutical industry, giant insurance companies, and powerful hospital systems to profit off of people when they are at their sickest and most vulnerable.
Yes.
We don't have time to wait for the same Washington politicians to act. Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, it's time for a new era of leadership. Pete knows that addressing this national challenge will require a multifaceted approach that isn't anchored by the ideological arguments Washington has been having for decades, but is instead rooted in helping people. Why is there a train?
Why?
Why? Anyways, censored on his Medicare for all who want it plan.
Yeah.
Interesting. Pete's approach will achieve universal coverage and put Americans back in charge of their health by making care more affordable and giving Americans real choice. Pete's vision will build on this with additional plans to lower the cost of prescription drugs, increase equity, protect and expand access to healthcare for women, drive innovation, and address many other aspects of care.
Okay, I like that instead of just saying that he's going to do this, he actually talks about what that means.
Yes, like instead of just giving the thesis and then going on, he like breaks it down. I'm like, yeah.
But here's the issue I have with his plan, and it's the
have we gotten to his plan yet?
Well, the fact that he says people achieve real choice, all that. As I see it, in healthcare, people just want to survive, man. You don't really have a choice. You just want to live.
I think he said the choice is about choosing if you want healthcare or not.
I think, yeah,
because it was
healthcare for it's Medicare for all who want it,
and it's not choice. So I think you're in choosing.
I think it's you. From what I remember, it's you.
Let's read it.
Okay. In our country, more than 27 million people who are uninsured are either paying too much for care or not getting the care they need because it's too expensive. Uninsured individuals are less likely to access crucial preventative services such as cancer screenings or cholesterol checks, and more likely to forgo care for chronic conditions such as diabetes or... I'm going to zoom in a little more on this.
How about I'll just read it? And 87 million people are underinsured, which means they're also paying too much for care in the form of high deductibles or out-of-pocket costs that make them more likely to struggle to pay for care or skip it altogether. We must ensure that everyone has an affordable option for health coverage that guarantees access to care when they need it. Through this plan, everyone will be able to opt in to an affordable, comprehensive public alternative. This affordable public plan will incentivize private insurers to compete on price and bring down costs.
Yeah.
If private insurers are not able to offer something dramatically better, the public plan will create a natural glide path for Medicare for all. The choice of a public plan empowers people to make their own decisions regarding the type of health care that makes sense for them by leveling the playing field between patients and the healthcare system. It gives the American people a choice and trusts them to set the pace of which our country moves forward. So he is saying by choice that you can choose to go public or private.
Yeah.
Yes, which is what the other thing that's happening. Like you just get opted into this without choose. Like you have to have this type of. Like you have to have health insurance. So it's like you get to choose this or that or. I think that's what he's.
Yeah, you get to choose. You get to choose either having the shitty private stuff or having or. Oh well, in this case, it's going to be that they're going to somehow find a way to like make the Medicare option really, really bad, so that people stay on the private option to ruin it all. Which is why this is a bad idea. Plus the fact that people just want health insurance, they don't care about choice. They just want to be able to go to their doctor. They just want to be able to afford their medications. Ugh.
But a lot of places...
You're really round up. You're loud in my ear, fam.
A lot of places have the option for public and private, and it works. Because public gets you what you need, but private offers, like, possibly better care. But you can, like, it's still bad.
What I feel like his plan is saying is, like, they'll make the private people want to lower their prices so they're getting more people, because, like,
so it would have to be good, and I can see how that can be possibly not good, but
like there's like Republicans have been defunding the VA so to the point that it's as bad as it is now. Why wouldn't this care become as bad as the VA?
Why wouldn't this care work?
But like, I'm pretty sure it's like Australia it works like this, where like there is private care.
That's what your mom was talking about, right?
Yeah.
I think in most places where that is the case, it's like, sure, there's most their primary funding is the public service, but you get other stuff from private insurance like option like stuff surgeries that you opt into that aren't life endangering or anything
like cosmetic surgeries.
Yeah, like cosmetic surgeries, for example.
Okay.
That I'd be fine with, but that's not what he's saying.
What is he saying?
He's saying that you get to choose. He's saying that he would have Medicare. He would have the Medicare option there, but that you would also have private options that would all be competing for the same exact things like they are now, except with the Medicare Medicare added on to that. So it would be like modern day, except Medicare would be an option too.
But it's still guaranteed.
Yeah, because if you don't pick the private option, then you have the public one.
As an option, yes. It's one of your many options it becomes. I just don't like it.
But it's still guaranteed.
I just see it as people want health care, so why not?
But it's guaranteeing you this health care.
Yeah,
but giving it to you.
How do I word this? What's going to happen is the Medicare companies are going to continue to fund their politicians.
Well, the problem is that is what, like, when my mom talks about it, is that the problem with just having only Medicare for all is that sometimes they don't offer all the options. And so, like...
Under, like, Bernie's bill, they would offer everything.
Okay.
Well, we'll do it with Bernie.
Yeah, but, like, under, like, I think in Canada, under their system, like, they don't even mention all the options. So whereas, like, for my thyroid treatment, I had the option of surgery and radiation, they just wouldn't offer one of them. Because it's cheaper or it's...
I see what you're saying.
And so, therefore, they just won't even mention it. So, like, you don't even know that's an option. And, because they want to stick with what's cheaper or whatever. So, having the private option gives you that chance to maybe, like, get a different opinion and not just have your things limited.
Why not just have a Medicare for all system that has all the options?
That would be great, but how do you even know that that's the thing?
You make it, you put it in the bill that it will be a thing.
I know, but how do you know that they're even telling you about all your options?
You give people a resource, I guess, maybe an online resource to look into it, like some kind of online resource. That would be my first thought.
I mean, maybe I'm getting too conspiracy-y, but
what do you?
I mean, just how can you trust that they're going to actually?
I feel like if you're going to implement a Medicaid for all, whatever, for everyone type of universal healthcare thing, in doing so, they would include a clause about telling you all your options.
Okay. Yeah. And I agree with that. It's just I'm just kind of putting out there that
they might lie.
Yes.
Well, then that's on you to also do your own research on.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to a doctor and they're giving you a diagnosis, then you know what you have, and then I would assume that you would also look up stuff about the condition that you have at that point, and then you'd be like, okay, this is another thing, and then you bring this up to your doctor or someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So that they might not tell you, but it's also on you to do research on your own about your own stuff.
True.
Yeah.
So I mean, people are gonna be either way, so why not just make it all free? And
yeah.
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 Anyways, Petey. That's what else he got up here.
Because healthcare is a human right, guarantee universal coverage through Medicare for all who want it. Yeah, will help the public alternative will help America reach universal coverage by providing an affordable insurance option to the currently uninsured. Yeah. The public alternative will provide the same essential health benefits as those currently available in the marketplace and ensure that everyone has access to high quality, comprehensive coverage. Okay. The plan will automatically enroll individuals in affordable coverage if they are eligible for it. While those eligible for subsidized coverage will have a simple enrollment option, a backstop fund will reimburse healthcare providers for unpaid care for patients who are uninsured. Individuals who fall through the cracks will be retroactively enrolled in the public option.
Okay.
And surprise billing.
Most commonly, unexpected bills arise when a patient receives care at an in-network hospital and, unbeknownst to them, is treated by an out-of-network physician. This mismatch is a deliberate business strategy fueled by profit-driven firms and private equity. About 1 in 5 visits to the emergency room is likely to lead to a surprise bill. Pete will require that bills related to in-network facilities be billed as in-network. This plan will also place limits on what out-of-network providers, including ambulances and air ambulance services, can charge.
That's cool, because, like, all of that. It's like, we went to the doctor, and it's like, oh, wow, this is expensive.
Yes.
Low-income people to make marketplace coverage dramatically more affordable for middle families. Pete will make premium subsidies more generous for low-income people. Today, a family of 3 making $31,000 a year pays about $1,200 annually for silver coverage on the marketplace. Under Pete's plan, they will pay a maximum of roughly $600 a year for higher quality coverage. Interesting. A lot of percentages. Numbers. I'm not here for numbers. I'm here for mental health care. Okay, make it easy to afford and find care for mental health and substance use disorder by enforcing parity. Yeah. What mental health parity means that coverage and treatment for mental health and substance use disorder are provided on equal terms as treatment for physical conditions. Pete will enforce parity in several ways, including requiring health plans to annually report how they manage and meet parity. Health plans that violate this policy will face fines and statutory penalties. Those plans most often out of compliance will be publicly named. Oh, so they're going to call you out under this. I would like to read more about his mental health.
Okay.
His
I mean, yeah.
His mental personally, I hope he's doing all right. We are in the midst of a devastating opioid overdose and addiction epidemic that is harming communities across the country.
Yes.
We are. In the past 2 decades alone, lots of numbers. 450,000 people have died due to opioid overdose. By the end of this year, almost 9 times as many will have died. The total number of U.S. military deaths during the Vietnam War. Stop that. This crisis leaves a harrowing impact for beyond the rising death rates. For every person that dies from opioid overdose, countless others are living with opioid use disorder. Okay, yes, what about opioids? What else we got? Drugs. Addiction. Okay, what about just, the good old general heal. Enforce mental health and addiction and treatment parity across insurance companies. Improve access to affordable high-quality treatment. Expand the mental health and addiction workforce and their overall cultural and clinical competency. Universalize access to licensed medication for others. Okay. There's a lot of focus in this mental health on drugs.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like enough on non-drug related mental health. But yes, like drug addiction, is a mental health thing.
These, aren't necessarily but they're not together.
Yes, like my mental health has nothing to do with drugs. Talk about veteran suicide, that's addressing stigma surrounding mental illness and addiction by trying to talk about it. Assessment for structural stigma with existing policy at the federal level.
There's a much different stigma about mental health in general than there is about addiction.
Use the presidential platform. Promote student mental health, which has... you clicked something.
I clicked it. Oh no.
Promote student mental health, which has deteriorated at alarming rates by requiring every school across the county to teach mental health first aid. Courses, among other initiatives, require every school across the country to teach mental health first aid courses, train teachers in schools how to know how to help students when needed, and expand the mental health workforce in schools. That is great.
I like that.
Address disparities. Okay, hold on.
This is more about drugs.
Addiction.
Addiction.
Combat culture of loneliness and social isolation, which can damage mental and physical health, by helping people form fulfilling connections to others in their community. National campaign to end social isolation and loneliness, help strengthen social and communal bonds between older and younger Americans through the National Service Plan, help older adults who choose to age at home continue to live fulfilling lives through the Capable program.
What would that national campaign do to end social isolation and loneliness?
I know. How does that work?
It's like, hey, come out to this campaign. I don't want to because I want to isolate myself.
Yeah.
What? Like, I get what you're trying to say, mate, but it doesn't make sense.
And then, what do we got? What else we got?
Exactly.
Resilient communities. You
mean minorities?
Yeah, they're thinking about invest in black people. Like, yeah, invest in my, what's it called? Business? That I have? Do we have? My black account.
Oh, this is a whole different one.
Oh, that's weird.
What is it?
It's opened a whole different thing.
Oh, yeah, but it's...
He wrote it, though.
He wrote it. In my 8 years in there. So it's like, just like, hey, reference this old thing I talked about in there. Like, disasters. What? I don't want to read this. Like,
climate change.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on climate? You know, Yang didn't talk much or at all about climate change.
True.
That's why I sent that meme. Did you see it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
we should post that on Twitter.
We should post it. Yeah.
BT Dubs, we're on Twitter.
I don't know yet.
It's at Round Up Podcast.
Yeah.
We'll have little in the description.
Yeah.
Put these things.
Maybe having like an iCard about it.
Yeah, those things. You know, up in this corner. Up in this corner. But I don't know which corner it's going to be because we haven't done any editing yet. I don't even know if it's like flipped or not.
It's somewhere up there.
Somewhere on the screen. It'll also be in the description box.
Yeah.
Which is down there.
It'll be down there in the description box. Okay, alright. Okay, the American people are facing one of the greatest tests. What is this link? What's this link for? Climate change. Okay.
I was like, I don't know.
Climate catastrophe is on the horizon, and history will judge us for how we rise to meet this challenge. Good Lord. I don't know. There's going to be history. Like, we might just die if we don't fix this, and there's not going to be one left. We have seen this problem evolve from a theory to a reality to now an emergency. Climate change impacts not only our coast, but also farmers, small businesses, homes, and towns across the country. Communities from Pacific Junction, Iowa, to Conway, South Carolina, already feel the effects of extreme weather and changing rainfall patterns. I'm struggling. It's late. In South Bend, Mayor Pete had to activate the city's emergency operations center for 1,000 years.
1,000-year and 500-year floods that came less than 2 years apart.
Lovely. We like a good flood here. As temperatures and sea levels rise, so the cost of food and flood insurance, new health issues from heat, air pollution, and the spread of infectious diseases are growing. From hurricanes devastating Puerto Rico to fires ravaging the Amazon, climate change is affecting everyone, everywhere. This is the security challenge of our era, and we are running out of time. Experts tell us we got 10 years to get on the right path, or global warming will reach catastrophic levels by 2050. Once our homegirl's plan ended at like 2045, it's too late then.
We got a couple years then.
It's like 2050, 24, like it's gonna be like it's too late.
Some say it's already too late. Yeah,
it is too late.
It is too late.
Washington has chosen denial and obstruction. Oof. But the timeline that compels us to act isn't set by Congress. It's being dictated by science. We must channel all of our energies into a national project, one that unifies Americans from every walk of life around this urgent threat and sees this from an opportunity for a new era of climate action. Okay, so what's your plan for it, though? Like, yes, we can take time, but what's your plan?
Okay, so
Like fun, like what he said, tell our children, grandchildren. Yeah.
okay, part one.
Okay. Build. Hey! Those are words there. Build a clean economy. A proactive approach is crucial to maintain competitive.
Remain.
Huh? Wow. A proactive approach is crucial to remain competitive in a changing economy. Transforming our economy and ensuring a clean and prosperous future for our children are audacious goals. They're also achievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do it. All right, first up in his plan is to work with Congress and existing executive authorities to implement a bold, achievable Green New Deal.
Okay.
Good. We are setting a realistic plan to become a net zero emission society no later than 2050.
Okay.
Based on a comprehensive set of targets and actions. To achieve this, we will enact a price on carbon and use the revenue to send rebates to Americans. Rebate. Ain't that's what I got from my health insurance?
Yeah.
Health, because
yeah.
Why did I get that? Money returned directly to their pockets, lower and middle class households in particular will experience economic gains. Dope. Launch the Clean Energy Victory Plan. 100 days. President Buttigieg submits the new U.S. Paris climate goal for 2030 and hosts. What is this? Okay, cool. Oh, I see. It's his plan.
Yeah.
In 2050, double the clean electricity generated in the United States. 2035, build a clean electric system with zero emissions. Requires zero emissions for all new passenger vehicles. Oh.
Okay.
Require net zero emissions for all new heavy-duty vehicles, buses, rail, ships, and aircrafts, and develop a thriving carbon removal industry. Okay. In 2050, achieve net zero emissions from industry, including steel and concrete manufacturing and agriculture sectors.
So he has a whole timeline set up.
That's
props to that.
I like that. I do like that he has a whole timeline. That means they said it, that they've worked like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Other people are just like, yeah, we should fix this. And like, this is a whole timeline. Like, I like
this
that.
This is a plan. This is like a solid.
Like, what's her name? Marianne.
Yeah.
Marianne said she had like by this time to do something, but like she didn't break down when. Yeah. Okay. Somebody else can read.
We had a part two.
Okay, invest in resilience. Okay, supporting Black and Latinx communities of color are uniquely and disproportionately impacted by climate change.
That's because we put them in the shit areas.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you gonna read more?
Protect communities while establishing next generation regional resilience hubs.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, cool. Part three.
Demonstrate leadership.
Joining global coalitions is not sufficient. We must restore communities.
I'm just talking about like changing the leadership that we have in addition to fixing the policies. That's okay. Cool. Okay.
Thanks, Buttigieg.
Yeah. All right. What else you got here?
Unleash rural opportunity.
Action plan. Guns. What's he say about guns, Mr. Buttigieg?
That's gonna be the mowing. Yeah.
Cool. Can I just? Okay, let's just. When America was attacked on 9/11, we knew this we would never allow it to happen again. Somebody else read. Scott, you read. I haven't read this whole time.
When America was attacked on 9/11, we immediately said that we would never allow it to happen again. We declared that those attacks would change us for the better, and we mobilized to action. Today, America is under attack from homegrown white nationalists.
Oh, he said it. He said it, and ain't nobody else said it, but he said it.
Yeah.
That's a big whoop. That's also a he said it.
Facilitated by an unchecked corporate gun lobby.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh shit!
There's
He said thoughts and prayers.
It's still thoughts and prayers.
Damn, he really just said it. 1, 2, 3, like we're right there.
Dang, he was in junior high when Columbine happened.
After foreign terrorist attacks, airport travelers have to take off their shoes. After 3 mass shootings in a single week, Congress
Wow. I don't have a wow, but that's a wow. That's a big wow. I don't have a wow. I'm gonna make one. Wow, he said it. All right.
I need a moment for that roast.
That he said it. You know, nobody else said it. Yang didn't say it. Marianne didn't say it.
We haven't read anyone else.
We haven't read anyone else, but so far in our the two people that we know, and he said it.
Ooh, it remains easier to buy weapons of war than a bottle of beer.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
my lord. They condemn the acts of lone individuals who are too embarrassed or evasive to confront the hateful ideology that spurs so many to act.
Okay, Mr. Buttigieg,
We
I see
traumatized an entire generation and are set to traumatize yet another.
Like, they're having freaking active shooter drills and all we have was lockdowns for nothing.
Meanwhile, every day, one at a time, we continue to lose out 100 lives to gun violence, disproportionately in black and brown communities all around the country, including in my hometown.
Yeah. Oh, scroll down. Weapons like the one I carried in Afghanistan have no place in our streets or in our schools. Least of all in the hands of white nationalists. That's it. He freaking went to war. He was a soldier in the war. The weapons that he had do not need to be the weapons that people just have every day just strolling around the fucking streets.
Yes.
Oh, he said it. All right, I'm okay.
I'm here for the
He's out here. It's just straight truth teller.
He's good at gun stuff.
Okay, let's see what else he got. Wait, no, what's his plans for guns? Policy action.
You take the U.S. is the only country in the developed world where this kind of gun violence happens routinely.
Why? Because
we throw up our hands as though this was a result of some cosmic force, but these tragedies are the consequence of policy failures. It's time to address.
Ooh,
yes. He said we just sitting there like, oh damn, like, wow, this is really tragic.
Wow.
But he's like, no.
Nah.
So it says the Trump administration cut funding allocated to the Department of Homeland Security to combat white nationalism. We must do more than simply reinstate it. We must dedicate $1 billion to ensure that law enforcement and all levels have sufficient resources to counter the growing tide of white nationalist violence.
We also got.
This says empower law enforcement with the greater resources to prevent domestic terrorists. Okay, but does he talk about the law enforcement being ass?
Increase the FBI's domestic terrorism field staff and strengthen ties to state and local authorities so that our law enforcement agencies can work together to prevent domestic terrorist attacks. Does this mean more spying?
There's always more spying. Expand our ability to track hate. We can't combat what we can't measure. We must pass the No Hate Act, the Durbin-Schneider Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act, and the Domestic Terrorism Data Act. Restore federal funding for a global terrorism database. Interesting.
Okay, I kind of don't want the government to dictate like speech that much, but okay.
It's I don't know. It's a something.
Yeah.
All right, number 2.
Pursue domestic white nationals with international terrorism links.
Yes.
Empower the national counterterrorism system in the office of the Director of National Intelligence to investigate international links to white nationalist violence.
Yep.
The FBI arrests international terrorist suspects through constant military law. They should do the same against white supremacists. Yes.
Gender-based violence and domestic terrorism.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go. Okay. Training law enforcement on the connection between misogyny and violent extremism is crucial to prevention, as is the funding community outreach and education program focused on sexism.
All right, he got more on this.
Okay.
Stop the spread of violent extremism online. Work with social media and other online platforms to identify and limit the spread of hateful ideology.
You know what? Okay, so about online platforms, like with Facebook. When Facebook will police you if you talk shit about white nationalists, but then they won't stop actual white nationalists from using racial slurs. Like the algorithm won't pick that up, but you'll get kicked if you're like, oh, wow, minutes to headache. But whereas the dude says, I'm gonna like mess this woman up or I'm gonna go shoot up this place, and they don't kick them for that.
What I'd be worried about with this is that them telling social media companies who to censor and everything could be used to censor people like us.
Yeah, I don't think the government needs to have a stake in what's actually said on social media. I think social media itself just needs to get better in how they do their algorithms. Yeah, I do not think the government needs to be involved in their social media.
I also be unless like. I'd also be very fine with social media becoming like the public square, becoming like complete anarchy. If people able to say whatever they want.
No,
No.
no, because words carry a lot of meanings, and so you know, like I want people saying what they want, but it's like no, like
When people
if you're spreading racial hate or
sure
stuff like that, like
I don't trust the social media companies to not censor like communists and stuff though. If they have the ability to censor that stuff.
I mean,
I don't trust them.
Not even about censoring, it's about taking action when problems are shown. So it's like if someone reports a post for being racist and they review it and they're like, no, there's nothing wrong with this, and there's clearly something wrong with it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying like I'm not saying censorship. I'm saying when people are saying things and they're not
making
getting consequences for what's been happening.
It's against the rules and you're not following them.
It's like, this is not against the rules, but like it is against the rules. And they're not doing anything about it, which again has nothing to do with the government. Like I don't want the government involved in that either.
I'm just trying to say that I'm for complete like changing up of what modern social media is altogether.
Yeah. Make background checks, universal, close loopholes, and allow dangerous individuals to acquire and keep guns. After each new mass shooting has become routine to learn that the perpetrator acquired their guns legally.
I don't like that we have routine for mass shootings. That's ridiculous.
It's just because of the amount.
I know.
Yeah,
exactly.
That shouldn't be.
I agree.
That's the ridiculous part.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. At least we don't have a bot on this website.
Oh my god, yeah, the freaking Yang bot.
Oh my god.
Institute Universal Background.
Yes!
Close the boyfriend loophole?
We need to close loopholes that will reduce the number of intimate partner homicides, including extending laws to apply to dating partners in the same way they treat partners who have lived together as spouses.
Because husbands and boyfriends do not have the same rules against them.
I didn't know that. Okay. Okay.
And so the person that just lives with you isn't held to the same rules as someone who's married to you.
Oh, okay. Close the Charleston loophole. Under federal law, if a federally licensed gun dealer who has initiated a background check has not been notified within 3 business days that the sale would violate federal or state laws, the sale can go forward by default. We must close this deadly loophole and allow the FBI additional time to investigate potentially dangerous people until a background check is completed. Gun sales.
So they're saying if a background check takes more than 3 days, then they can just
do it
anyways. But he's saying let's not do that.
Yeah.
Yes. Close the hate loophole. Hate and bigotry have motivated some of the deadliest mass shootings in our nation's history. In too many cases, a firearm turns bigoted threats into deadly assaults. In recent years, the number of active hate groups in the U.S. has reached an all-time high. We must pass the Disarm Hate Act, which would prohibit people convicted of hate crimes from possessing firearms. Yeah. The next one, ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Yes. Like that's step one, and that's the simplest thing. It's a lot harder to do a mass shooting with a handgun than it is with a freaking
semi-auto.
Yeah.
That was modified to do auto because that isn't illegal.
Yeah. So yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah. So that's that. What about tanks and rockets? We've already decided that certain weaponry like tanks and rockets are unacceptable in civilian hands. Congress should similarly institute a federal assault weapons ban and ban magazines that hold more than 10 rounds of ammunition.
Some people want tanks back.
What do you want to think?
We need to go over libertarian sometime.
No.
We need to go.
Laws allow a judge to seize legally owned guns if someone is determined to be an immediate threat to themselves or others. In many cases, people close to a mass shooter had observed clear warning signs of violence, such as stalking or abusing women, but were unable to act to keep the shooter from accessing weapons. Wow.
Okay.
I mean, like, this dude is doing this crazy shit, and like, okay, let's...
Yeah, and it's saying, like, domestic abusers, like, if you are known to be a terrible person, like, why do you have weapons?
Yeah.
True. Establish a nationwide gun licensing system.
Mhm.
Yes.
Resume federal funding for gun violence research.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Political action.
Call your senators.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is just what we can do.
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
what we're doing is just.
Yes, we're empower us. Invest in Black America. Let's see what he says about Black America. Let's go. So, there's a little thingy thingies.
Yes, there's thingy thingies.
Health.
Let's just
Scroll through this thing. So, hold on, this is a big chunk. Let me read this. This is why Mayor Pete Buttigieg. I'm sorry.
Buttigieg.
Miss Buttigieg. Whatever. Buttigieg. It's proposing the Douglas Plan, a comprehensive and Petey boy. It's proposing the Douglas Plan, a comprehensive and international dismantling of racist structures and systems combined with an equally intentional and affirmative investment of unprecedented scale in the freedom and self-determination of Black Americans. Okay. This includes reforming broken criminal justice and health systems, strengthening access to credit and injecting capital into the Black community, and taking bold steps toward fulfilling long broken promises of true equity. Okay. Oh, is it because Frederick Douglass?
Yeah.
Oh, it probably said that. I didn't see it.
Well, I mean, it's just the way that it's spelled. 2 S's.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think about how Frederick Douglass spells his name. There are many things on the Frederick Douglass that I will think about, and spelling his name is definitely not on the list. More of, who he was, what he did, what he stood for.
When I saw the Douglas Plan, that's immediately what I thought.
Good for you.
Frederick Douglass is cool, but his name.
His name is nothing to think about. But
But you think about Pete's name?
Buttigieg? Yes. It's weird. Douglas is not weird. It's just not how I spell it was spelled. In committing to a comprehensive plan to focus on Black Americans, the goal of Douglas Plan is to not ignore the specific history and experiences that impact our communities, other communities of color, in the United States. Yes. Okay. Mayor Pete understands that racism is not just a Black and white issue. We also need to address unique challenges facing other communities.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was wondering about. Because I was like, this is about Black people. I was like, what about the other people of color that all that.
Yeah.
He mentions that. Well, yes. When Black America experiences economic justice and opportunity, we all benefit.
Yes.
When our democracy works for Black America, it is a better democracy for all of us. When we place Black women at the heart of the struggle for reproductive justice, the lives of all women are made healthier and freer. When young Black men have equal employment opportunities, all of America benefits from their economic contributions. The Douglas Plan, a specific plan for Black America, this also establishes a deep and solid foundation for racial and economic justice for all communities of color and for all Americans. Okay, I can get behind this. It's interesting. Because others have talked about race stuff, but they didn't have any specific plans in action to do anything.
Yeah, does he have a specific plan listed here?
It's really long.
To achieve this, to designate and fund health equity zones to address communities' most pressing health disparities.
Okay.
To address the underrepresentation of Black Americans in the health workforce and train our current health workforce to combat bias, especially racial bias, when treating patients.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. We revitalized the Office of Civil Rights in the Department of Health and Human Services. That's the college that my major is in, is called Health and Human Services. We will invest in an equitable public education system by massively increasing federal resources for students at Title I schools.
Okay.
We will issue new regulations to diversify the teaching profession. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's not a lot of diversity in teaching.
No.
Your entire high school did not have a single Black person.
No,
no teacher. Yeah.
In my last year of high school, yeah, my college, even though it was in a huge city that was extremely diverse, there was no people of color.
No staff on the teaching.
Staff, yeah.
No Black staff.
All of them were white.
It's all white people. Mm-hmm. We will invest in high-quality state and local educational programs. Yeah. Well, that's a thick boy. Let's read that. We will invest in college students' futures by making public college tuition free for lower-income students and ensuring the lowest-income students can cover living costs without taking on student debt through increased investments in the Pell Grant program. Pell Grant is great. That's how I got here.
I'm just saying.
And if they make it even better, that's great because I still got hella loans that I gotta pay.
But yeah, Pell Grant MVP right there.
Yeah, that helps a lot. We will cancel the debts of borrowers in low-quality, overwhelmingly for-profit programs.
Okay.
We will increase dedicated resources by $25 billion for historically Black colleges. That's cool. Who else had a thing about HBCUs?
Yang, I think.
Yeah.
That's weird, but that's cool. And other minority serving institutions. That's cool.
Yeah, Yang had a bunch of stuff. It was just all tiny.
Promotion of... I don't need to be the one control if I'm being able to read you because you be scrolling too fast and my eyeballs are moving fast. Promotion of education and celebration of Black history. Will increase funding to the National Endowment for the Arts and create targeted grant funding aims to promote the ongoing documentation of Black history and promotion of Black culture in the United States. We will preserve cultural and historic sites documenting the history of Black people in the United States. We will write Dear Colleagues letters outlining the best practices for the content and instruction inclusive of Black history and the contribution of Black Americans. So these letters will provide guidance to schools on how to incorporate Black history throughout the K-12 curriculum and not just a certain unit during... That is such a big thing. You only learn about Black history during the 28 days in February and never again. But, like, there's more Black history they can fit in a month.
In all of history.
I'm like, thanks to Black people is what you got all your crap.
Black history,
rock music, history. Black people. Yeah. Hell, even country music was Black people.
But you know what Scott said?
What do you say?
Black history is American history.
Yes. You can't have American history without Black history. Criminal justice reform. Ensure more people are free by significantly reducing the number of people incarcerated. But, well, yeah, you get free, but yeah, okay, whatever. Double the funding for federal grants for states that commit to criminal justice reform. We will, on the federal level, eliminate incarceration for drug possession, reduce sentences for other drug offenses, and apply these reductions retroactively, legalize marijuana, and expunge past convictions.
Okay. Ooh, there it is.
Black people are disproportionately targeted for drug offenses.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, it's a chart. I love charts. They're my favorite. All substance users. Well, guess what? Black folks won 12.5%.
But in the arrest,
it's 30% of Black people get it.
Okay.
You know how many white people I know that do drugs?
Oh, right.
Compared to how many Black people I know that do drugs? But you know. Eliminate mandatory minimums. Yeah, like some freaking prisons have like... Yeah, this all stuff. Okay, we'll compute...
That's stupid.
We'll commute the sentences of people who are incarcerated.
Why would you have minimums for people in jail or in like being arrested or crimes or?
Why do you have Why do you have? Yeah. Like why do numbers on that? We will commute the sentences of people who are incarcerated in the federal system beyond what justice warrants by establishing an independent clemency commission that sits outside the Department of Justice. Oh, more charts, more charts.
I like charts.
Clemency by presidential administration. FDR understandably had the most. He was in there for a very long time.
Bush.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Y'all see this? Y'all see it? We ain't gonna say it, but y'all see it.
I know. He almost done too. You can't even say like it's just because it's
okay, we will fight the profit motive. Cool. Yes, we will fight the profit motive in the criminal justice system, including by abolishing private federal prisons. Prisons are literally getting paid to have prisoners.
That's stupid.
That's dumb. That's stupid.
That is stupid.
Like, the criminal justice system should not be for profit. You shouldn't be making money off of crimes.
No, it's just incentivizes longer people being in there for longer. It incentivizes more people getting arrested. And
we will reduce the criminalization of poverty and its link to incarceration.
Ooh, yeah.
Don't ever talk about that one. We'll appoint people deeply committed to achieving this goal. We'll appoint an Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, and U.S. Sentencing Commissioner who are committed to the fundamental transformation of the criminal justice system.
Protect people's freedom from draconian criminal justice practices and safeguard their freedom to reform and rehabilitate while incarcerated.
Nice. Freedom is not binary. Just because the state has taken away someone's freedom in certain ways does not mean it has the right to subject people to inhumane conditions while they're incarcerated.
Yes.
Like, people are like, well, they're criminals. And it's like, okay, but they're still people.
They're still American citizens.
Like, should they be treated better than people that aren't, in jail? No, but they should be treated like humans.
Yeah.
Yes.
We will support a constitutional amendment to abolish the death penalty.
Good.
Yes.
Wow.
Like, the death penalty does nothing.
You see that?
Black people comprise 42% of those currently awaiting execution and 34% of total executions since 1976.
Okay, but what percent of Americans are Black? 13 or 12? Yeah, 12, 13. But 42% of wow.
And when we read the book by Brian Stevenson, we still don't remember the name of. He was talking about how that one man.
We'll put a picture of it or something.
These people aren't all guilty.
Yeah, I know.
They're not all guilty. So of this 42% of people, what percentage of people are not actually guilty and they're just going to get killed for a crime they did not commit?
I know.
Yeah. And out of all the people on the death penalty that are awaiting the death penalty, how many of them could, if we cared about reform, actually become good parts of the community?
And how many people deserved? What was their trial like to get them on the death penalty? What crime did they commit?
Yeah.
Just mercy?
Yeah.
Mercy. Book.
We found it.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Another chart.
Because we apparently just gave that one away.
Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson. Great book. I recommend. It's good. Black people are disproportionately affected by the death penalty. 42% are currently awaiting execution, and 34% of total executions since 1976. How many years ago was 1976? A lot.
A lot.
Yeah. We reduce the over-reliance on solitary confinement and abolishes prolonged use. What is that? What does solitary do? You just sit in a hole by yourself, stewing?
And it makes you less...
It's not going to make you any more likely to be a better...
From what I understand, it actually makes you less mentally sane and everything, too.
Yeah, because you're just sitting there, no stimuli. We're social humans.
And humans are social creatures.
Yeah.
It's not humane.
No, it's not.
We will ensure people who are incarcerated have access to education, healthcare, and rehabilitation. Because a lot of these people that are in prison are due to lack of education. So while they're in there, let's educate them.
That's not something I've ever thought about.
We will restore Pell Grants to people who are incarcerated.
Oh, okay.
So apparently, right now, if you've been in jail, then you can't get Pell Grant.
That's wow.
So
wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
My dad would know this.
Yeah.
Interesting. Unemployment rates among participants in post-secondary education programs in prison will on average decrease by nearly 10 percentage points. Interesting. Charts. Me like charts. Charts are good. We will move the Medicaid exception for incarcerated people. An unjust criminal justice system means an unjust healthcare system. Currently, correctional healthcare is neither paid for by federal health dollars nor subject to quality controls and oversight that would accompany these funds.
Wow. Do you see this?
Which part? This rule also creates avoidable gaps in care during reentry into the community, such that people released from prison are 12 times as likely to die within the first 2 weeks after release.
Wow.
And up to 130 times as likely to overdose from opioids.
Wow.
As a general population.
You are 12 times more likely to die
in the first 2 weeks
after getting out of prison.
Because they don't do the health care.
It's like the thing with the veterans, too, where they just throw you back.
There's no transition.
No transition, and you have no...
And it's like if you're sick and they don't treat you, then you're just going to go out and be sick out on the streets. And, wow. I'm really sorry. People do not give a damn about other humans. And that makes me really upset.
In capitalism, at least.
And, yeah. We'll provide funding to empower states to provide better opportunities for individuals to prepare for life after incarceration. Yes, they need this transition period thing. We will ensure the cost of fundamental services and programs is not the financial responsibility of people who are incarcerated or their family members.
Okay.
Including adequate nutrition, phone calls to family members, doctors' visits, money transfers, and access to public defenders, probation, parole, and incarceration itself. Too often these costs are borne by Black women and contribute to the financial burdens of Black families. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
That's a...
You're really just laying it out there.
It's just...
And this is
facts. He has a lot of facts from a lot of articles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which I like. It's like...
And it's cited.
And it's cited. They've done their research.
Yeah, I like
They have charts. There's research done.
Yeah.
I like that.
And this is the guy who is quoted in, I think, one of the debates, or maybe in a speech, as saying something like, that people care more about you as a person than they care about policy. He said something like that. So I don't know where this came from.
I don't know. I didn't see it. But anyways, protect the freedom for people with criminal convictions to fully integrate into society, providing the tools necessary for success while reducing government intrusion in people's lives. We will significantly reduce the use of supervised release on the federal level by limiting it to 2 years, putting burdensome requirements and technical constraints, making it harder to be sent back to prison for small violence.
Is that like probation?
I think so.
Yeah, or parole.
Parole, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's parole.
We will ensure that people with convictions have the freedom to access education, jobs, housing, and healthcare.
Good.
Basic things you need. We will ensure the right to vote for all formerly incarcerated people immediately upon release from confinement. Like, why do you lose your right to vote?
Yeah.
Just because
you were in jail.
You were in jail. Like,
I don't know.
Well, you know why? It's totally a freaking...
Oh, yeah, it's
totally
a race
racist.
Thing. Yeah,
because
I was about to say it's a race thing.
Yes, 1 out of every 13 black Americans is prohibited from voting due to a felony conviction more than 4 times the rates of white Americans. Because they're doing to skew votes.
Yes.
Because they know that more black people, or like more people in color in general, are being arrested. And they know that they're not going to vote the way that they wanted people to. So, and when we were talking about how, like, how many people are affects, like, your, like, weight in, like, an election, like, if you have this much population, these prisoners count as part of your population.
But they don't
actually get to vote. They don't get to vote. And then, yes, that.
No taxation without representation, once again.
Protect the freedom of black people. Protect the freedom of black people in America by bringing fewer people into the criminal justice system in the first place and minimizing police overreach. The police be doing too much. Let's see. Black people have a higher likelihood of arrest by age 28 than white people, and black people with disabilities have an even higher...
Because you're literally disabled. I sincerely doubt you're doing more crime than anybody else.
Yeah. There is no national database of officer involved. There should be.
There should be.
Yeah,
there
definitely.
Fucking should be. But available data shows that black people are disproportionately subject to excessive force, including deadly force, from police officers. No shit. This disparity is even worse when considering unarmed people killed by the police. We need accountability, training, and enforcement to ensure that no more black people are unjustifiably arrested and that no more black lives are wrongly lost at the hands of police officers.
Yes.
The other people didn't talk about this. They didn't talk about police brutality.
Mm.
They didn't talk about it. I thought we're getting closer to more people. Like, yes, okay. We'll establish comprehensive measures to hold police accountable to their communities. Yeah. Hold these fuckers accountable for the crap they do. We promote legislation that raises the legal standard under which officers are justified to use lethal force and offer assistance for states and localities to adapt more restrictive policies. You know what they need to do? Is actually, you kill someone unjustly, and they feel like, give you like a little bit of probation time, but then you get to come back to your job.
Mm-hmm.
No, you shouldn't be able to do that.
No, I agree.
Oh, there's this one dude. I don't remember his name or anything about him, but like, he just ended up going to a different police station or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Work to eliminate unfair discriminatory practices. We will support the departments that actively strengthen community relations and implement community policing, and we will encourage other departments to follow their lead. We will promote effective, informed, independent civilian oversight of the state. Local law enforcement agencies, and we will invest in community-based health care, especially mental health services and other front-end social supports. Interesting. Ooh. Find a wholesome dread of the consequences of running in debt. This says, you aren't secure without economic security. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Wow, okay, we have more charts.
More charts.
Average wealth per family. Wow. Y'all see this?
Yes.
Y'all see it.
It says white families $100.
And black families $5.04.
Wow. $5 to $100.
Wow.
4 cents.
Equal employment and business. He has a lot. Like, there's a lot of stuff here.
They won't have 4 cents if Yang takes 1 penny.
That such a random thing to have. Like, give her the penny. Like, come on, Yang. Like, what, you want to talk about climate change?
Ooh.
Just use it. It's okay. You can just use $1,000 that he gives you, you know, get the high ground. It's fine. We'll create the federal Walker Lewis entrepreneurship fund to invest in entrepreneurs from underrepresented backgrounds. I like that.
You friend.
Yeah, that is me. I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
We'll introduce the Walker Lewis Debt for Jobs plan to help students start businesses.
That's cool.
Yes.
Every student who was eligible for Pell Grants while in school will have his or her college loans deferred and forgiven over a 5-year period. That's me, fam. They start and maintain a business employing at least 3 people. All right. Okay. Wait.
Within 5 years. Oh, so we gotta hire him, and then with 3 people we're employed.
I think we have to hire a couple more people. We gotta get 2 more people.
Okay.
Because I don't think I would count for you and you would count for me too.
So him, Aaron.
Him and Aaron. We need one more person. TJ. Okay.
Cool.
So
yeah, I already help a little bit with the soap. So
what do you do? You wash your dishes. It counts.
Yeah. We'll just yeah.
There's things. We will launch the Walker Lewis Promise to aim to award 25%. Yeah, okay. 25%.
You in my love and affection.
Big mood. Your girl don't got all of those right now. A federal contracting dollar to small business owners from underserved communities. We will convene a Walker Lewis task force to identify additional ways to reach our entrepreneurship goals.
Okay, I'm kind of confused
On
what section is this?
This is Black people.
Okay.
Why?
I just feel like we went from incarceration to entrepreneurship. I don't really understand.
I think it's about
minorities.
It specifically says underrepresented communities several times. Like, we're still in the
okay. Cool.
Black people. Like, it says Black Americans.
Yeah. Okay. And now we have another one.
Okay, Community Homestead Act.
Yeah, he has a lot in here.
Which is it's cool. Wealth gap. 30%. Douglas plan proposes. It says all under the Douglas plan and stuff.
Yeah, I get it now. I understand now. I was confused.
Yeah, if we need to.
I felt like we were kind of just like on incarceration for a minute, and then I realized that we were on the minorities thing.
Yeah, if one of these presidential things takes too long, we can just cut it into part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, we're just go through. It says the Douglas Plan proposes the 21st Century Community Heads Homestead Act to launch a public trust that will purchase abandoned properties and provide them to eligible residents in pilot cities while simultaneously investing in the revitalization. That's
someone on Twitter the other day was like, there's not enough homes for people, and I was like, that's literally not true, because there's so many places that are like abandoned.
We have more. What is it? We have more abandoned homes in this country than we do homeless people.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, there's not a lack of resources. Like, we have the resources. They're just not distributed properly.
Yes.
Or like, we're just always gonna have this problem as long as there's more homeless families than there are homes. And I'm like,
there's plenty of homes. You mean abandoned homes you just see like every day?
Like, I'm pretty sure there are empty apartments in this building.
Yeah, the one across from us is empty. I don't know that much. But that's just cool. Just purchase them and then give them to people that need them. Not eligible, which what means eligible, but you know. That's public health, infrastructure, environmental justice.
You know how salty the people would be?
Who? Just like white people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Water. Flint is not alone. A 2017 Reuters study indicated that almost 4,000 communities had levels of lead in water at homes twice as high as Flint.
When we were in our geography class and we were talking about times where communities had just been completely like decimated because of pollution, and they literally just pave over it and put like they just put Black people in.
Yeah.
They just turned it into an impoverished neighborhood.
Was that here in North Carolina?
Some of them. We talked about multiple.
Yeah, but we talked about a specific North Carolina one.
I think so. I don't know.
It was like
they like buried the barrels of waste.
Oh my.
There's I can't remember. Like, I'm picturing a freaking textbook picture.
I'm thinking of the one with the river fire right now, but
okay. Oh, that one too. Yeah, that's. But I think about the one that you talked about was in North Carolina. I can't remember what it was.
There was one that I talked about where they literally just buried barrels of like waste from whatever corporation, and then they just put grass over it, and they put homes, and they just like sold it, and then all the babies were coming out messed up, and they were like, why? And then they found out that their homes were built on top of like
Yes, I remember. Yeah, that one.
toxic waste, and they were like, oh, that's why all of our babies are deformed.
Up to 4 million homes, 40 million, my bad, primarily in poor communities, have one or more health and safety hazards, such as lead, mold, asbestos, or poor indoor air quality.
Wow.
Air. Those living in poverty are 35% more likely to live in a neighborhood with poor air quality. Black Americans are 54% more likely to live in such conditions.
Oh, wow.
That's more than half.
Yeah.
Okay. Environmental stuff, yes. I like that he has all his other subsection underneath underneath like the black stuff. It's like, because it's shown there is an unequal effect.
Yeah.
Like the general, like for the general community, but like also these groups of people are more likely to be affected by this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's have a plan to help. I like this. I like how this is the website. The website stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that.
Someone's AC turned on.
Oh, that's strange.
Are the great principles of political
He really liked Frederick Douglass.
Well, it's called Douglas Wayne.
I know.
Are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence extend to us?
Ooh, yes. Ooh. Is it? Does extend to it. That's the, like, yeah. Like, they have this whole declaration, and it's like, we're the people, or whatever, and all this, and it's like, people. But yeah, it didn't mean shit if he wasn't a rich white man.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So then if you're a woman, a person of color, a colored woman.
Yeah, at this time too,
but yeah.
At the time, they had a law which said only white people who owned land, white men who owned land.
So even if you was a white man but you was poor, you still
weren't a person.
But then all these poor white men don't wanna vote for people that
my parents.
Mine too.
Hey, if y'all watching.
Although mine are more lower middle class.
If y'all watching, do better.
We're gonna be like promoting this on like Facebook and stuff.
No, they wouldn't watch it.
I know, they're not gonna watch it, but like
because they know, Well, anyways, voting rights and money in politics. Voting rights and money in politics. Yeah, that's happening. Expanding access to the ballot.
Okay.
Approximately 1 in 5 eligible voters is not registered to vote.
Register to vote, y'all.
Protect the right to vote by using full power of the federal government to combat voter suppression.
Okay. We will give full political representation to the people. Yes.
Oh yeah, I've been thinking about this.
Yes, DC wants statehood. There's like been.
We have DC. If it were a state, Washington DC would have the highest proportion of black citizens, about 50% of any state.
Ooh, so that's why they have that.
Oh,
yeah.
Huh. I didn't realize it. I thought it was more than the 50%, honestly.
We will replace electoral clocks with national popular vote.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The Electoral College artificially dilutes the power of minority communities, especially black Americans living in southern states. I'm a black American who lives in a southern state.
Yep.
Your vote doesn't matter.
Mine doesn't fucking matter because of the stupid Electoral College.
And it makes higher population states, people in higher population states have less of a vote than people in lower population states.
Yeah, and they're like, but why should they get more votes? Like, they are more people, so
there's literally more people there. Like,
I don't see how it's not. I don't understand.
Yeah, why does it matter what state you live in? You're a person.
People will be like, then like California and New York will have like all the same. I'm like,
well, they make up more people than your state makes up.
But that's not even true. Like,
that's not even true.
Like California, New York, Texas, and the 4 largest states only make up like don't even make up like half of the population.
And it's like my parents will say it because they're like liberal states, and it's like, well, if the majority of people are thinking this way, then maybe that's the way it should be going.
We will reduce the power of big money in politics and elevate. What's this?
Yes.
We'll fix the harms caused by politicized and inaccurate census. No one else has mentioned the census, but the census is the census. No, someone said we're going to add the gays to the census, but like
I don't know
the census overall. Yeah, because
census overall is a little shady.
Yeah.
Fight discriminatory racial gerrymandering.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a,
North Carolina's pretty gerrymandered.
Yeah.
Oh, yes it is.
Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. Frederick Douglass.
I'm in Ohio, and so I'm more recently a Southerner than these two.
I was born and raised in, where are we? North Carolina? Yeah.
Yeah, and she was born in California and brought here at a young age.
Brought here?
By your parents, yeah.
That's what people say when gender equity.
Oh, so I word it.
That's what people say when I talk about, like immigration. They're brought here.
Yeah.
My people were brought here. What's his stuff about gay rights? Like he's gay, but like
I opened it.
Okay. Because like some people can be gay, but then they don't care about trans rights.
Milo Yiannopoulos.
All right, okay, here we go.
Then there's like Blair White and stuff.
So here's a couple more hot topics before we probably won't go to his Wikipedia. He got a lot on his website.
I had to like.
Oh yeah.
Fix yourself.
Yeah, off camera. Can you put my seat cushion more into my seat?
Yeah.
Okay, gender equity. Closing the gender pay gap.
Yes.
He does have a lot on the website, but
past the you can take over the stuff.
Long, so
I was doing the black people stuff.
I was thinking that we can just skip the Wikipedia on this one. Equality Act.
remove the deadline.
Oh yeah.
And support the Equal Rights Amendment.
Reverse the ban on transgender military service. I love that he put that with gender equity and not under the LGBT.
Yes. Yeah. It's different.
Yeah. Protections for pregnant workers.
Workers, not women.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Great job. Good job, Pete. Or whoever wrote this.
It's not Pete.
No, Pete didn't write this, but something on Pete's campaign.
Okay, so that's it for that one.
Okay, cool. Yes, pregnant people. Gender and LGBT, like it's like there, but like they're separate things.
Alright, what's his little
bully points? Pass federal. Scott, you read this. You read the gay.
Okay, I'll read the gayness. Pass federal legislation to combat bullying and harassment in schools. Improve the health, well-being, and housing security of LGBTQ youth, parents, and families.
Okay.
Pass federal legislation prohibiting discrimination against prospective LGBTQ, adoptive, or foster parents.
Nobody else did. The other person didn't talk about adoption and stuff like that, but they were just like,
Protect access to homeless shelters for transgender youth by undoing the Trump administration rule that would allow homeless shelters to refuse shelter to transgender youth or require placing them according to their birth gender.
I didn't know this was a thing.
Neither did I. I didn't hear
I didn't know that they could freaking...
Yeah, they could like send you to a women's shelter.
That...
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Ban conversion therapy. Yes. Combat the overrepresentation, or at least make it so that you have to be an adult to do it. The conversion therapy thing.
Yeah, like if you want to do that
as your own, because you are in denial about things, but like forcing it on kids.
Oh my gosh!
Combat the. What are you saying?
They literally talk about PrEP.
Combat the spread of HIV by ensuring access to PrEP for everyone who needs it, regardless of ability to pay.
Yeah. That's so cool. I've never really seen anyone talk about that in any kind of scenario.
Wasn't Marianne a whole HIV person and thing? And
she didn't even talk about it. Do you know what that is?
I'm guessing it's like a thing that...
it's a medicine you take. It's like
a preventative.
There's PrEP and there's PEP. So PrEP is the pre-exposure.
Okay.
And then the other one is post-exposure. So it's like, one is like... So the other one is like the plan B for like HIV. Where, like, if you had unprotected sex and you're now concerned, you can take it and it will prevent you from actually getting it. Yeah. This one is taken like birth control to just make it so you're unlikely to get it.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. That whole lady did all kinds of work.
With AIDS and HIV and she didn't mention
Well, that's because she's rather do it with prayer.
She wants to pray to Ooh, Marianne.
I want you to spray it away.
That was a good video.
Minimum wage. Yeah. Oh,
no. Security means...
I need one person to touch the thing at a time. Y'all both trying to touch stuff. Y'all freaking me out.
Security means making sure every American family has economic peace of mind now and in the future. Key policy, raise the minimum wage to $15. and ensure workers access to their
predictable hours. That is
wages,
such
That is
key.
such a big thing because, like, if you go in and you say, I need this many hours a week, and then they give you, like, half of that, that's not... Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're like, when do you work? It's like, I don't know when I work. I just have to look at this paper, and it's always different.
Yeah.
It's always different. And sometimes they don't even put the schedules out soon. Like, TJ and Philip, they both, like, they get their schedule on Wednesday for that week. So, like you don't know until you...
Thursday.
You don't know if you work Thursday morning until Wednesday night at, like, 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous.
For too long, the typical workers' wages have not kept up with expenses like healthcare, housing, and education.
It's like the cost of living increases, but wages don't increase.
Yeah.
So they're screwed.
Pete wants to make sure that workers who are giving their all to an employer are getting paid fairly in return. Yes.
Do you know how much? Oh my God. Like, my body was literally deteriorating trying to work for that stupid freaking company. And they don't even pay you. They don't care. And then when you take it out...
Are you talking about it, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, you talking about that or you talking about the nursing home?
No. And, like...
Yeah.
Literally, the one time that you called in because you had a migraine, you were literally dying.
Yeah, so I'm like,
And she kept complaining, and, like...
It's not my fault.
I'm like, it's not fair for you to be guilt-tripping me for calling in.
Yeah, it's like,
this is my right to do so.
That was the only time I called in.
I know.
Because
it's not your fault that they were understaffed.
Yes. I'm like, it's not my fault y'all sucked enough that, like, everybody either quit or whatever.
By raising the minimum wage to $15 and beyond, we can start taking steps to make sure that the economy is working for all workers. Restoring Obama-era overtime regulations will ensure that over 8 million workers who are putting in extra time for their employee get paid for these hours.
Y'all want to know I noticed a lot of, like, in all these things that we've talked about, there was a lot of reinstating Obama-era things.
Yeah.
So that means that all these things, Trump just undid for
just for the hell of it
reason.
Yeah, Trump is trying to, like, erase Obama's legacy.
I'm like Obama wasn't great or whatever, but, like, these policies weren't bad policies.
Yeah.
And he just undid it for the sake of it.
So now instead of, like, just being able to, like, fix them up, these people have to bring them back.
Yes.
And then
start over again.
Yeah, Trump wants to be remembered, so he wants to erase Obama's legacy. That's why he wants to buy Greenland and stuff.
Erase Obama's legacy, but Obama's legacy isn't even that great. It's just that he was black and people are big mad about it.
Exactly. We must also have an honest conversation about how to solve the bigger issue of automation. Oh, here comes the robots and economic disruption. As fewer and fewer people have a lifelong relationship with a single employer, training and job replacement programs are critical, but so is what happens to someone's identity. We need measures to bridge income and benefits when work is disrupted, and to create meaningful non-work opportunities for building identity and community.
Interesting.
Okay.
Work with read the plan. Other critical policies, pass paid family medical leave, extend pay and benefits, corrections to undercovered workers, invest in high-quality child care, and early childhood learning programs. Cool. Okay. I like when they mention that. Oh, we're not going to learn about the national service?
Reproductive rights.
What was the big boy?
Comprehensive. Freedom means being able to make decisions about your reproductive health based on what's right for you. The key policy is comprehensive reproductive health care. A woman should have the freedom to make medical decisions on her own or with the counsel of her doctor, family, and faith leaders, those whom she chooses and she trusts. The government's role should be to make sure all women have access to comprehensive, affordable care, and that includes preventative care, contraceptive services, prenatal and postpartum care, and safe and legal abortion.
We should, now that I think about it, we should go over his Wikipedia page because he had some controversies on there.
Repeal the Hyde Amendment.
I'm sure they're on there. He has some controversies going on right now.
You can type his name.
Buttigieg. Buttigieg?
Oh.
What is the origin of his name? Like?
I don't know. We can look it up later. Out of curiosity.
Okay.
Controversy.
He has some controversies going on right now with South Bend and racism.
Oh, racism. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
Is it gonna show it? That's the question. Personal life book, electoral history, Contro. Did I spell that wrong?
No, I don't think it's in there.
No, it's just not there.
Okay, so racism.
Okay.
The police communications.
In 2012, Buttigieg demoted South Bend Police Sheriff Chief Daryl Boykins after a federal investigation found the police department had improperly recorded telephone calls. He also fired the police department's communications director, who had discovered the recordings but continued to record the line at Boykins' command. The police communications director alleged that recordings captured 4 senior police officers making racist remarks and discussing illegal acts. Wait, I feel like I've seen about this. Buttigieg
I just wanted to see what else was.
Buttigieg has written that his initial decision to reappoint Boykins, the city's first ever African-American police chief, was his first serious mistake as mayor. Boykins, who's the city's first discrimination, was demoted by him. Interesting. Arguing that the taping policy existed under previous police chiefs who were white. Buttigieg opted to settle with this. Interesting. Well, you know how I feel, so I had kind of a sympathy for a cop, but racism. So it is what it is.
Yeah, but if it's racist, if it's fueled by like racism,
Yeah,
then
not cool.
yeah.
But alright, Buttigieg.
Good old Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Yes.
The third installment of 2020 presidential candidates.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Bye.